Well, hello and welcome back to the most unusual tarot reading on the internet or maybe any place else. This is the Tao Manifesting Tarot, your little taste of tarot in a real world. Glad to have you with me. This is the show that doesn't predict anything particularly because tarot doesn't predict anything. I've done tarot for over 20 years, and in my experience, I never found it to predict anything. Not of any value, not with any consistency, just not. But I've also done astrology and numerology for 50 years. Those are the science of cycles. Tarot, the science of potential, your potential to manifest, your potential to shape your reality from inside of you going out, not the other way around. In other words, you can't depend on artificial intelligence, laptop, desktop, smartphone, any of that stuff. Has to come from within you. If it does not, it is weak and it weakens you, your ability to create, your ability to think for yourself. And that's very obvious. That's what's happening with technology. That's one of the purposes of this technology is to get you to quit thinking. Go to your smartphone, look for answers. Go to one of the AI instruments. Let them give you the answers. You don't have to think about it. Don't have to be bothered with thinking. The whole point is to get you to think. That's the whole point. So this tarot reading uses numerology and astrology, knowing cycles, how they repeat, finding the energy from the last time that there was some sort of an astrological connection, bringing it into the present and saying, here, that's what happened last time. Can you connect it to now? If you can make the connection, you can start to make the pictures, you can start to manifest better because you have some control. An element of it, anyway, that's for sure. So, this tarot reading, no rainbows, no unicorns, no fantasy, no magical energy waves from outer space. This is dealing with what we have here on the surface of the planet. All righty? So, today's Tao Manifesting Tarot theme is your ultimate destination. You know, we're all on a trip. Life is a journey. It's a marathon, actually. That's what you're running. And so you do have some time out there to kind of shape your life. We tend to go for more money, more fame, bigger homes, bigger cars, but that's really not what life's about. It's the experience itself. It's allowing your spiritual destiny to manifest and then you working to manifest from that. We don't do that. So, your ultimate destination, Treasure Island, we'll call it Treasure Island. Where is the real treasure? Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. We're going to start with the astrology because I said we use astrology. But first, I want to remind you that I do have a singular email you can contact me at. Please do. Feel free. I've had a bunch of them. I've now limited it down to one so I can keep track. It's tau-tarot at proton.me. Tau-tarot at proton.me. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up my. It doesn't make any difference. You can say whatever you want. This is you don't have to feel self-conscious. Open up, let's communicate. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's the point. Tau-tarot at proton.me. Alrighty, we got that taken care of. Let's move to the astrology as we take off on this Tao path that we are taking, the one to our ultimate destination. We come to the astrologic portion. This is where I try to connect the past to the present so that you can envision your future. About 2 months ago, I started on something called the Conquest of America, because coming up next summer, July 4th, 2026, we have our 250th anniversary here in the United States of America, if we survive. And I'm not joking with that. We got some big hurdles to jump, and some are self-imposed, some come from without. But the point of the matter is, if we keep it together some reasonable way, about a year from now, we will celebrate our 250th anniversary. So I'm trying to tie in things from the past. And as I was doing so using astrology, I found out that right from the beginning, America was to be controlled, taken over. Right from the start, 1492, the European bankers said, aha, we have a chance to open up the safe, take all the gold out. And that's what they did. And by 1700, they took something called usury, which has killed every city state, every country, every nation, every empire. That's charging interest for borrowing money. And it sucks every place it shows up, sucks it dry. That's why, frankly, the Jews, because they were primarily the bankers in Europe, they were primarily the bankers in biblical times, they used usury. In fact, that's one of the reasons why, if you look at the New Testament, there was only one time in the New Testament Jesus lost it. I mean, there's no other way to put it. He lost it. He went nuts. A man who sacrificed himself decided to, before that time, take on the bankers of Israel. Remember, he went in there and literally threw out the money changers in the temple. He was telling us something. And the Jews have been well known for doing that. They, not exclusively, there have been other people, but Jews were primarily the movers of usury. They've been kicked out of 200 countries in 2,000 years, and they've been kicked out 1,000 times. Oh, yeah, they got back in, but they did the same shit, and they got kicked out all over again. And they blame everybody else. Well, it's their fault. So in 1700, Adam Smith said, how about if we give usury a new name? Let's give it capitalism. Sounds better. Kind of refresh the brand. It was still the same old shit. And the American colonies and the United States of America, as they became, have consistently taken on the Jewish bankers, the European bankers. They set up Wall Street. They set up the first Bank of America. Its time ran out, 20-year lease. So they tried to do it again. It was tougher to do, but they got it. After the second lease of the United States Bank, Andrew Jackson said, nope, 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 nope. We're not doing it anymore. We're going to form our own bank here in the United States of America. They tried to assassinate him. They failed. Abraham Lincoln tried to make the change. They killed him. William McKinley tried to change. They killed him. JFK tried to make the change. They killed him. Others have tried and have been put on the block. Maybe not assassinated, but put on the block. Stopped. So we come to the year 1933. It is in the middle of the Great Depression, just after World War I. Had the roaring 20s where they fired up our economy to their benefit because remember, 1913, they formed the Federal Reserve. At the same time, they wrote the Federal Income Tax Act, and at the same time, they said women go to work. What did that do? Well, the income tax gave the Fed a supply of money to make money, and they got women working, so that doubled the income tax. It was all planned. World War I, they thought might resolve their issues. It didn't, so they had to come back for World War II. But in the middle of that, they set things up. 1933. Very, very important. I think it might be the most important year in the United States of America. In that year, a hero, an unquestionable hero from World War II, Smedley Butler, stopped the assassination of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Prescott Bush, remember the Bush boys, H.W. and his puppet master? Yeah, those two guys as president. Their father and grandfather was Prescott Bush. He was responsible for coordinating this attempted assassination of FDR. It failed because of war hero Smedley Butler, who wrote a book, War is a Racket. Smedley went to Congress and said, hey, this Bush guy, He wants to get rid of FDR. They stopped him. Prescott Bush never went to prison, never was charged with anything. In fact, after World War II, he became the head of one of the most influential banks in New York City. But that's what happens when you have connections with the Jew bankers in Europe. Same year, 1933, we have gold being taken away from American citizens because the Federal Reserve wanted to make up the value of a dollar any way they wanted to, any way that suited them. So we come to the fourth of very frightening things that happened, and that is the Havara meeting, Havara Agreement. It was a deal with Germany and Jews, Zionist Jews. They worked out a deal in 1933 that let 60,000 Jews leave Germany. Yeah, there were some strings attached, but essentially 60,000 Jews were able to leave Germany well before World War II. Now, at that point, Hitler worked out the deal because he had a good deal with the Jew bankers. They were funding him. Here's the problem. Right after the Havara Agreement, where 60,000 Jews were allowed to leave Germany, Hitler arrested one of the Rothschild bankers. Ah, that made Hitler the enemy, the bad guy. But up until that point, oh, and just to kind of give you a little insight, you know the word Nazi came from? It came from two groups, the two groups in the Havara Agreement, the German National Party and the Zionists. NA stood for German National Party, ZI for the Zionists. NAZI, Nazi. Wasn't what you quite thought, huh? Nah. But what the Zionists wanted was to get people to escape Germany because they knew what was coming. They were going to push it. Get most of them into Palestine, but not all. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes that you've never known before. So another of those things from 1933 where Hitler and the Zionists cooperated to let 60,000 Jews leave Germany. And it makes you wonder, why those 60,000? Because you know they were picked and chosen. Why those 60,000? Did that leave the other 6 million Jews as disposable? Interesting question. The astrology is as it has been as we're going through 1933. Pluto square Uranus, Jupiter, quincunx Saturn. What that basically means, misdirection planned. Oh, it looks like we're going this way. It looks like we're going to do this. It looks like we're thinking about this, but we're not. And you won't know until it's too late. So we have Smedley Butler saying war is a racket. Smedley Butler protecting federal FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, from assassination. Gold becoming illegal for American average people. And the Havara Agreement, where the Zionists and Hitler worked out a deal to free 60,000 Jews. Kind of an interesting little piece of information there, huh? Let's move on to the meme for today. This is a guy, you can read it, Genrikh Yagoda, historian. This is a guy who ran the Soviet Communist Secret Police. It's important to know this guy because he registers very pointedly in the 20th century, most particularly World War II. You can read for yourself and get more information in terms of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. General George S. Patton, just before he died, said, you know what? I think we fought the wrong people. We should have fought somebody else. A week after he said that, he was involved in some rather unusual car accident that killed him. Who was he speaking about? Real interesting questions from 1933, that's for sure. We go to the missing link. I throw this in there just because of the Havara Agreement, of the FDR attempts, Smedley Butler, the gold heist, all of that stuff, just to say to you, to remind you that what you think you know may be wrong. This from Major General Albert Stubblebine. He's a guy who was there at the Pentagon the day that the whatever hit the Pentagon. Remember 9/11? He said, I saw a missile hitting the Pentagon, not a plane. 9/11, as you look into it deeper and deeper, is not what it seems. History is modified and changed, and it's protecting the same group of people every single time. We're talking about Treasure Island, right? We're talking about your ultimate destination. How about your ultimate destination being truth? It's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people. Let's go to the tarot. High Priestess is where we begin. It's wisdom and secrets. It's intuition. It's taking the information and being able to look between the lines, see behind the curtain. You have that capacity. That's one of the reasons why you can manifest. You have the capacity. Trust your intuition. Trust yourself. Trust the truth. The High Priestess will get you to where you want to be, get you to your ultimate destination. We move to the Queen of Swords. This is information, it's insight. That's what swords are. They're data. Hopefully, truth. And it allows you to move forward, gives you a perspective, makes you realistic. Okay, I have this information. It's been hidden from me. What is its worth? What is its value? What is its truth? Queen of Swords will help you determine that. And you are in the process of doing that right now. You are in the process, if you're not already there, of taking a peek behind the curtain. And once you see, you won't ever forget. Final card is the King of Wands. Wands are positivity, excitement, enthusiasm, joy. King of Wands is innovation, risk-taking. We're talking about this Treasure Island, this ultimate destination, this place of truth. King of Wands says you can get there. But you have to trust yourself. And you have to be curious. You have to really want to take a look. Decide for yourself. What's the story? What isn't? You may not get the whole picture. You may not get all the details. Not important. You are capable of seeing the beginning and you're capable of seeing the end. The stuff in the middle, you're going to have to work out. But that is your ultimate destiny. Find the truth for you. We're out of time. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it every day that you're here with me. I mean, I can't put a price on it. Don't want to. I just appreciate it bunches and bunches and bunches. Just like I do you liking and subscribing to this channel, this tarot manifesting channel. This one takes a deep step into the deep waters. It takes a special person to do this Tao manifesting thing with me every single day. For those who do, God bless you and thank you. For those who are new, check it out. You may find it very helpful. A little unsettling, but very helpful. Between now and the next time you and I do this tarot thing together, peace and blessings.